And how is week D or DU performed is with a direct antiglobulin, or I'm sorry, indirect antiglobulin test. Sorry. Most common RH antigen is little e. 98% of you are positive. And antibodies detected in the antiglobulin is IgG and IgM. Screen cells, panel cells, and autocontrol all being positive, probably an autoantibody. Antigens is known as your antigram. One step after identifying your patient antibody is to antigen type the patient. Compatibility testing, which means it's the whole reason you're here, is compatibility testing, finding out if blood from this person is compatible with that person, is to ensure, detect antibodies in the patient's plasma that would decrease the survival of the red cells. We can't guarantee anything. And the testing will detect most ABO errors, and that's about it. But you're going to be good at it. Okay, so the next thing is your we know where the course syllabus would be here. I'll keep one so I can read through it. I'm hoping my voice makes it. So she has MLT 240 already checked, so you're good for that. You need one more. Hard back out. I don't know how many she gave me, so. Okay, so the format of the course. So on Mondays, you're gonna have, from 8 to 10 will be lecture, and all your tests will be on Monday. Knock on wood, and that's what it's, asterisk, because you don't have class on a couple Mondays, so Jean and I'll probably move it like Tuesday. And then there's one week you don't have me Monday and Tuesday at all, because Jean's gonna be out of town the end of the week, so we'll all play when that gets here. So Monday, most tests will be first thing Monday morning. First one will be on Monday. And then the second half is lab. And then on Tuesdays, you have me at noon to 2, and that'll be lab. Starting in week 3, Gretchen is my lab assistant, and Gretchen will start coming and helping. She does the MTS blood group, or the MTS system, which is the system on that back table. So while I'm showing you the tube type, she's showing you the automated MTS. So you kind of will do both at the same time. Okay. Hers is much easier, much quicker. And then Wednesday will just be lecture from noon to 2. And I don't know what lab you have as far as whatever else you got to wear, but it's just lecture for me. And then on Fridays, you will have lecture on from 8 to 10. A lot of times, because for most weeks there's only 2 PowerPoints per week, most of the time on Fridays it's like a review for your test on Monday. And then that's when we have your lab quizzes will be the second half. The lab quiz this Friday is going to take you all of about 10 minutes, but they get longer and longer and longer as we learn what we're doing. So again, Friday's mostly just lecture review for your test on Monday, and then it's pretty much lab the rest of the time. Which is kind of nice because Friday you can go home. So if you're one of those people who likes to get in, get it done, and get out, you can get in, and get out. So it's really up to you. So that's pretty much how the class is going to run. Chemistry was more lecture, and this one was more and less lab. It's almost reverse in blood bank. With your review for when you have the review class, your chemistry review is like 36 pages. Your blood bank is like 14 as far as lecture. So again, not lecture intensive. It's very lab intensive. So why Fridays tend to be more lab than lecture. So you have 7 tests in the written final. You do have a take-home test, and it is nothing like the chemistry take-home test. Nothing at all. And so I will ask you to do it individually. I have sent it to the print shop already, so as soon as I get it, I'll give it to you, so you guys have the whole time to work on it. But again, it's nothing like the chemistry one. You'll be able to knock it out in no time. And test 1, which will be on Monday, is really just review for your serology class. Okay, so that one's a piece of cake. Test 2 is ABO-RH. Again, ABO is the most significant blood group system. So you usually have to pass ABO by week 2. We'll work with you a little bit by week 3. If you can't pass ABO by week 3, we let you go. Because if you can't pass ABO, you're going to kill somebody. So we can't let you go. And then I've been teaching this since like 2001, and I can honestly say maybe only 3 people. So it's not like a big, like half of you or anything. Like 3 people in all those years I had to let go. But we work with you. We really try. It's not that bad, so you'll be okay. And then, so test 1 is a piece of cake. Test 2 is a lot of information. Test 3 is a butt kicker. I can't tell you, it's the one where you have ABO, you got RH, and then you got all the other blood group systems. And that test is a butt kicker. Test 4 is a piece of cake. Test 5, not bad. Test 6 is really easy. And then you got your take-home test. So really, if you can just get through test 2, 3, and 4, probably those are your roughest ones. Test 3 being the worst. And so I already have scheduled extra credit for that because it's just a butt kicker. And I just don't know how else to do it any different. It's just memorization. You just got to know it. It's just memorization. So on Fridays, you will have a weekly lab quiz. Whatever skill we're learning for the week, you'll have your quiz. For the first couple weeks, and until I tell you otherwise, you are to leave everything on your desk. So when you are done with your lab quiz, you're going to leave me all your test tubes with your test. Just turn your test upside down, leave me your rack with all your test tubes, and then just you're done for the day. And then I go through because I want to make sure that you are reading your reactions correctly and make sure that you're getting that because we want to catch it early rather than late. Okay, after about week 3 or week 4, you guys have all got it, and I'm like, okay, just pitch your stuff. You don't need to save it for me. And they do get more and more complex as we go through. Because there are a lot of skills that you have to know for blood bank, more hands-on kind of skills, I'm going to let you guys sit here for today, all right? When we have lab on Friday, I want you guys to move up, okay? I will leave it to you. That means you guys have to move every single class. That's fine. If you want me to make everybody move up one, I can do that too. But you guys are not always going to be sitting in front of me. Simply because there are some little habits that you can get into. And I feel so bad when it's week 6 and then I'm looking over and I'm going, oh my gosh, you're still shaking your tubes that way. So I want to break those habits early, okay? And so again, I want everybody to sit in front of me for at least one lab period to kind of break those little bad habits, those other lab habits that you've learned that you can't do in blood bank. So we'll go from there. And it usually works out to where I get everybody in front of me at least once. Let's see. So that's the format of the course. You okay with that? The grading system of your psychomotor and all that good stuff. So I have a sheet. Let's see if I can find it. I forgot I did this. I'm going to pass out all 3 because they're all grouped together. I'm going to go over them each. Here, they're in 3, so just grab 3 and then pass it on. I didn't have a stapler or anything, so. One of the sheets in here is the grading, the tests and the quizzes. If you're one of those people that likes to keep track of what your number points you got on your quizzes or your tests or whatever, that's what that's for. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. That's just something I figured, I just kind of make up for you, give you an idea as far as what everything goes for. The lab quiz points probably change as I morph things a little bit, but you can keep that. And again, you can either use it or you can wind up and throw it away on your way out the room. I don't really care. But that kind of gives you the grading and all that good stuff. HIPAA and confidentiality. So today you're going to be using blood from the hospital. I asked them just to save me some specimens. And so again, if you run across a specimen and it's your next door neighbor, don't go to your next door neighbor and say, hey, guess what? I used your blood today. After the first week, because Diane has a phlebotomy class, we tend to just use their blood, so it's kind of the same people over and over again, so you're not exposed to 50 million people. When we get to week 3 and you can learn and you can do more, okay, it's always fun to do it on
Five
your own
sheets over
blood.
there.
Because by that time, we can find out your
Yeah, you get
ABO blood
3.
type, we can antigen type you, and we can antibody screen you. And it's more fun when it's your own blood, to find out what your true blood type is.
Easy fix, there's 2 pages.
Attendance, same rules apply for all your other classes. I don't make any special rules or anything else. You know, if you're not gonna be here, you're supposed to call Jean
There you
and
go.
whatever, how that goes. Safety, your blood bank reagents, the ones with red cells, anything that's with red cells. The preservative in your red cells is a carcinogen, okay? So, you don't wanna drink it, you don't wanna taste it, you don't wanna wash your hair with it, you don't wanna sweeten your coffee with it. It's a carcinogen, okay? If you treat the reagent as you would treat any other laboratory reagent, you're gonna be just fine. If you get it on you, wash it off with soap and water, okay? I mean, the cooties are not gonna jump out and get you. But again, I just have to let you know that they are a carcinogen. There is no, very, very low amount, but what OSHA says is something we have to worry about. Okay. How to pass this course. So you have 6 written tests, which you have to have a 74%. Then you have your take-home test, and then your written final. Same rules as far as your final has to be, what, a 74. You can do 1 retake of any test, or the practical, or whatever the syllabus says, the same rules apply, that's the same for all of our other classes. Testing and assignment due dates, again, your tests are gonna probably be mostly on Mondays, and we'll try to shoot for the 8 o'clock assignment due dates. You have 2 presentations for me. The one will be coming up here shortly. Basically, I give you a worksheet, and you just have to fill in the dots, and then just present it to the class. And that just keeps me from standing up here going blah, 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 for at least 2 periods, right? And then, so one will be shortly coming up, and then the other one's not until the very, very end. You have 2 of those. I don't have much homework. When we get to identifying antibodies and doing panels, I do give those as homework. But it's, if you're a puzzle worker or somebody who likes to do those kind of things, you're gonna love it, because that's what it is. It's kind of a word searchy kind of puzzle thing. If you don't like those, I'm sorry. So there's really not much homework. You do have one MTS thing, right? The computer thing, whatever, pick whichever one. I know in chemistry there was only one, but I think in blood bank there were several, so just to put in your portfolio. And then you will have, there really are no disease states in blood bank. It's not, we're not giving you blood because of the, you know what I'm saying? There's just not a disease state. So usually I ask for an article and something interesting, something fun, something you just always wanted to know. Maybe you run across a little article in the newspaper about how the Red Cross is low on blood, or I've had students do animal cross-matching to see, you know, what animals can go to what. And just in case you ever want to know, Great Danes are the universal donor. You can give their blood to pretty much anybody. And cats are worse. They're horrible. They have lots of antigens in their bodies, so they're not good to cross-match. But again, if you want to, there's also some research out there that says, based on your blood type, it'll tell you what kind of foods you can eat. Okay, so that's always an interesting one. Students like to do that. Artificial blood products. There's always articles on artificial blood products. They've tried very hard, and you might actually find something new on stripping antigens off red cells so that you can make them for a universal donor so that people won't get antibodies. So that's always kind of an interesting topic. So again, just a couple paragraphs. You know, I gotta read them, so you know, I don't need a book report. But if you just run across this little article in the newspaper or something, you know, something really kind of cool. Or just Google a little something that's interesting. Because yeah, if you're B positive, you're like one kind of a personality. If you're A positive, you're another. So okay, just something kind of fun. If you've ever thought it would be kind of fun. So anyway. So just one of those 25 points. It's not a big deal. Teamwork and responsibility of learning. So in chemistry, it was a team sport. Remember, everybody had to do this machine and that. Blood bank is very individualized, okay? The only thing you're going to share are your reagents. So you will have a box of reagents. And usually I get brand new boxes every time, but we don't have the machine anymore, so I don't have the boxes. So I'm gonna let you guys come up and grab these. You will need 1 box per table. So grab your box of reagents, and then I have some labels. And so you can write the 2 people that are going to use that box. Now, when you move tables, the box goes with you, okay? I don't want you using reagents from anybody else's box. Use them from your box, okay? If you run out of reagent in your box, come get more from me. Don't borrow unless I tell you, oh, go ahead and borrow because I don't have any more or something. Because when you're doing the lab for Monday and Tuesday, and then your quiz is on Friday, okay? If you're using those reagents, you're gonna be expected to have a certain result, okay? But if you just inadvertently say, oh, I'm out of anti-D or whatever, I'll just borrow Leah's, and it's something that could affect your reaction, because remember, you're leaving your specimens for me to look at, it could make a difference, okay? So, again, use your box. So, if you'll notice on some of them, they kind of combine names and made up cute little whatever you want to put. If you just want to put your 2 names on it, that's perfectly fine too. But just write your names or whatever on the label and stick it on there. So you'll get your box every time.
Yeah.
We had Diana and Maria, and they were diarrhea. And I think we had Jack and Eric, and they were Jarek or something like that. I mean, there's one of them says Team Awesome.
Oh, wow.
So whatever you want to
I
put
can
on
write
there.
horizontally.
Just so that you know it's yours.
Freya or Lais?
We're gonna do Nickelback. You want to do Nickelback? Oh, I don't care.
I'm sorry?
Freya.
You're Daniel? That's what it says on there. So, and we'll put your name on there so I know who to give it to. I know where to grab it.
Oh yeah, had to. Why not?
So when you're done with this, if you'll just pass it up, I'll give those to Jean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went there.
Nickelback are really cool.
I
like Nickelback.
Freya. I wonder how to say it. Freya. Freya. I think that's Freya. That's T-R. Yeah, Freya.
So what you're doing, that on your practical, at the end, you will have 3 specimens, 3 patients, if you will. Patient number 1 is 50 out of 100 points. Patient number 1 is the type and cross match times 2 units. Okay, so that's patient number 1, so half of your practical. So boom, you know it already, okay? So we will learn how to do a blood type. Then you're going to learn your antibody screen, and then based on your antibody screen results, what do you do with it? It's either positive, negative, or they have a previously identified no longer active. So again, it's a flow chart. The reason I did this is because you get a lot of flow charts or flow sheets or whatever she calls them from Jean. And everybody's like, well, gee, Barb, how come we don't have anything like that for blood bank? And I thought, well, we do in the department, so why don't I give them to you? All right? So that's just kind of a heads up on what you're going to learn. So blood type and cross match again is patient number 1, 50 points of your practical. The second page is patient 2 and 3. It's the second one behind there. It's the prenatal type and screen, and then the baby. Okay, so prenatal, obviously she is not delivered yet, and then a full-term infant is your cord blood. Cord blood is the sample of blood that we get from the umbilical cord after the baby is born. Okay. So again, patient 2 and 3. Patient 2 is 30 points, patient 3 is 20. But if you notice, it's ABO-RH is on all 3 of them, okay? So again, that's the basic. We'll learn ABO-RH, yes?
Sorry, on the first page, what's with PINLA? What does that stand for?
Previously identified, no longer active. PINLA. But that's like week 3, so it doesn't have to go here. We'll get there. And then, then moms and babies. So really, we're going to spend 6 weeks on patient number 1, okay? And then patient 2 and 3, we just kind of throw in on week 7, and on week 8, you have your practical. Because again, patient 2 and 3 is really just a portion of patient 1. Okay, so again, that's what we got to get you through. Be able to give a safe transfusion. Okay? Okay. So much for that. Any questions so far? Are we excited? I love teaching. I don't like doing it in the real life, but I like teaching. Okay, so I have some specimens, so please take a specimen. Everybody needs a room. Pass them along. The fuller the better. Today I'm just going to teach you some blood bank basics.
Each one, don't you?
You are going to use these procedures one per person.
Let me get one.
You're going to do these same procedures over and over and over again. First thing you're going to do is
I guess.
centrifuge. So go ahead and plug in your centrifuge. And when it, so we are going to start on page.
Doing pretty good. Okay. People.
Another thing I want to bring up real quick, ABO is the most important blood group system. If we get that wrong, you will kill your patient within 15 minutes, okay? After that, you're just gonna sensitize them, so we just, and we'll kill them. But anyway, so, what do you think is in it?
Anti-B antibody.
Anti-B antibodies, yes, okay. Find your D,
D.
anti-D.
Okay. Pale, opaque.
I had them all organized, you guys must have moved them around. There's your D. D. What is in it?
Nothing?
Antibody, and
Oh, everything?
potentiator, okay?
Okay.
That's next week, guys.
Okay.
I was just trying to pull you out. But yeah, there is potentiator in there. Okay, potentiator means it's gonna cause your reaction to happen. All right, so I want you to take 3 clean test tubes.
Okay, that's what's on.
3 clean test tubes. Okay, so that you know whose is whose. You can put your initials on it, but also you need A, B, and D. So 1 tube with A, 1 tube with B, 1 tube with D. And then your initials on it if you think you're not gonna get them, if you're gonna get confused with your lab partner.
CPD.
A, B, and D.
A, B, B. Kind of.
You are gonna do this on your quiz on Friday, however, the interpretation part is not part of your quiz on Friday. And we're gonna do it again on Friday before your quiz. Okay? So we're gonna do the forward type of an ABO with a D. Alright, so forward type. We do forward and reverse. Next week we'll learn reverse, okay? So,
The D.
in blood bank, it is extremely important. You always add your reagent first. Always. It's very important, reagent before cells. Always. I will only give you one exception, and that's babies, and that's not until week 7.
I can't
Okay?
handle it.
Always add your reagent first. The reason is, when you add your reagent first, you can see the reagent in the tube. If the phone rings and they need blood up in surgery and you have to leave, but the patient you're working on is the guy bleeding to death in ER, you may have to take over for her. You walk up to her rack, how do you know what she's put in her tubes? If you can see the reagent, then you know the reagent is always added first, okay? So in your A tube you just label with an A, add 2 drops of anti-A. To B, 2 drops of anti-B, and to D, 2 drops of anti-D. Always add your reagent first.
2 of each. A
2 of
is on
each.
the left.
Now, when you get into the real lab, they're probably going to tell you only one because they have in-date reagents. You notice some of mine probably, when I first took over blood bank, there were some reagents in there that were almost older
I
than
think it was
me.
in
2010.
That's young. There was some 1998s. I'm gonna get rid of them, okay? Then with your transfer pipette, you're going to add 1 drop of your visually made cell suspension to the A, the B, and the D.
How much?
1 drop. Give them a little shake, put them in your centrifuge, and centrifuge for 30 seconds. And we're going to calibrate your centrifuges on Friday, so right now we're just giving an estimate as to what 30 seconds really is. Don't be breaking mine. 30 seconds.
Please be balanced.
Now you're going to need your agglutination viewer. That's this light thing, so if you want to plug that in. I'll show you how to use that. Then you start getting something that's quite
Bye-bye. How far are the drive? Oh, wow. My very first job was at Sparta. Okay. Take your tubes out, put them in your rack, but don't mix them yet. I'll show you how to do it. A mirror. Is there a mirror in here? No.
I think she said there's other lamps down there with yours.
Leave my first job for me.
Not down there, in the cabinets over there.
What did they offer you, the sun, the moon, and the stars? They get you to leave.
Oh, yes. They offer me everything.
Really?
22 when I graduate, an hour.
Wow.
And full-time benefits, guaranteed job when I graduate, $4,000 for tuition reimbursement.
Wow.
Starting off right now is 16 on weekday evenings, an hour, and then 18 on weekends, on evenings.
As a lab assistant?
No, as an
Oh,
MLT
an
student.
LT.
Yep.
Gotcha. You gonna relocate eventually? What's your year commitment? How many years do they make you commit?
They said a year. It's only if I take the tuition reimbursement.
Oh, okay.
That's,
Okay.
I'm not like, you know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, grab your A2. How you read your blood bank tubes. You're going to look into your agglutination viewer. I'm not going to, simply because you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing. You want to hold your test tube so that your cell button is on top. And then you want to rock it so you're basically cutting the cell button with your reagent. All right? You need to watch when you're doing this. In other words, don't do it out here talking to somebody else about what they're going to do for dinner tonight, okay? You have to look at your tube. Again, looking in your agglutination viewer, you're literally looking at the reflection in the mirror, not what's happening in the tube. You're looking in the reflection in the mirror, all right? With your A and your B, you get a good solid clump, a 4+ reaction. Usually it's a 3 to 4+. And we'll talk a little bit more about that on Friday, all right? So you want to take your tube, cut your reagent into your cell button,
If it stays one solid clump, we consider that a positive reaction. If while you're cutting the reagent into it, it disperses right back, then it is a negative reaction. With your ABO, it's usually clumped or no clump. It's usually pretty clear cut.
What if my cell button doesn't want to stay on the thing so that I can cut into it? It's just kind of moving with the fluid.
And that's fine. You have to get all the cells off the bottom. And usually it will. Positives usually just float right up in one big cell button.
What about a good majority of it?
Should all come up.
You said clump? I see a little clump.
No, no
There it
clumping.
is.
You see the difference between hers and yours? Look at hers.
Yeah.
One solid clump.
Yeah.
Look at yours. You need to keep mixing it until all of your cells are off the bottom of the tube.
So I do like this, right?
And usually I do. Usually I rock it, and then if they're not coming up, I give them a little shake. But again, watching what you're doing in the tube. Okay? So if it goes back into suspension, it's a negative. Right? Then do that with your B and your D.
Egg is
Your B should also be either a good solid clump or should be dispersed back into a negative. Your D may break up.
Yeah.
D-stage.
Yeah, mine.
If it breaks up, it's.
If there's any clumping, it's still a positive. It must all go back into suspension to be considered a negative. Any clumping is positive. Your D is going to just be not going to keep that nice solid clump.
Excuse me. You're all positive?
And we're going to do this again on Friday before your quiz. Don't have any feel like I'm going to throw this at you on Friday. We got plenty of time on Friday. So if you've got a clump in the A, in the ABO growth system, really is, it says its name. So if you have a clump in the A and a clump in the B, your person is an AB. If you have a clump in the D, your person is a positive. If there is no clump in the D, your person is a negative. Okay? If you have no clumping in A and no clumping in B, your person is an O. And your negatives are always equal signs. I'm sorry, I probably didn't tell you that.
So what about B and D?
I'm sorry?
What if you got clumps in?
So if you've got a clump in B and a clump in D, then your patient is B positive. This is not on your quiz on Friday. I'm just kind of giving you a little bit.
Could you start over?
Sure.
Right, I got lost.
And we really are jumping, guys. This is not something I'm gonna require you to know. Like, if you have a clump in your A, your person has that antigen. So that's their blood type. If they have a clump in B, then they are an A and a B. They have A and B antigens on their red cells. If you're clumping in your D, that just simply means you are positive. And if you are no clumping in your D, that simply means you are a negative. Again, when I asked you, what is your blood type? You guys said B positive, O negative, whatever it was you said, okay? So if you are a B positive, you have a positive in your B tube and a positive in your D tube. If you're negative, it means your D is negative. Okay? Again, guys, you still got a long way to go, all right? Okay, so what I want you to do, since it has time to go, on the test tube, on the purple top tube that you guys are using today, if you can interpret what you just did with your A, B, and your D, all right, put it on the label, just in Sharpie marker. Just put A positive or B negative or whatever you think it is right now. And then I want those
Goes into
back.
suspension, so it's negative, and D is
You want us to
positive.
initial it?
If it goes
Not
back
right
into
now.
suspension, that means it's
Because
not
we're gonna
that
see
low.
how good you did on Friday when we do it. Okay?
What about like a
So basically the.
I'm sorry?
Without O-type blood?
O means you have no A
Right.
Okay.
and you have no B, so
Okay.
you're an O.
Oh.
O is an amorph, which means it has no detectable product. You didn't detect an A, you didn't detect a B, therefore you must be an O.
So whatever the clump is, that's the type of blood it is.
That's what antigen you have on your red cells. That says your blood type. Yes.
Okay, so that is positive. Okay.
I don't know, that's what my B looked like. I think it's.
So then I just need your purple top tubes back up.
I think so. I think
You
it's
can
just.
put your reagents in this box. I'll put them in the fridge. I don't know where my rack went that had, oh, here they are. So put your blood back in here. Reach your desk. Here you go.
All the tubes can go now?
All the other tubes can get thrown away. I just need the tube of blood back. The original purple, the rack. Here, I'll hold it. No, if you're coming to me or not coming to me. You're gonna be doing micro tomorrow, so if they're not full, I wouldn't worry about it. Your reagents cannot go in your drawer, they must be refrigerated, so that's why I always make sure I get everybody's back before you leave. Not the micro ones, just your blood bank ones. Then, yeah, I think she does whatever she wants with those, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll give it to you, remind me. I'll have to make another one.
Okay, alright.
Yeah, remind me. I'm sorry? Right.
There was a clump in A, it's A, negative 15. In B, there's a positive.
How do you know it's not polyamine?
You can't rip apart if you if somebody ordered. And they hold them down, so they don't rip them.
There's different ways.
Well, she gonna get to it if it's true start holding her down.
You not want me to put
I
hands
don't
on
think she would've did that. Even if she had the chance to turn her up on it, she still wouldn't turn up on it. I think they would've been
What? I missed the whole conversation. Oh. See what happens next for me. I'm like, I'm having such a bad day. I know, I hope we're good. fucking going. You can go on red.